What's up? It's Ben here, Black Dirt Cycles, but you already know that because there's a hoofing great sign behind me that says Black Dirt Cycles, so yeah, that's alright, isn't it? Anyway, a couple of things that I want to speak about in this episode. 1, 2, 3 things that I want to speak about. First thing, I've gone all fancy pants, look at that. I've gone and bought myself a lapel mic. 1, 2, 1, 2, never gonna be a bumble. Yeah, see, I did that because, I don't know if you noticed in the last video, it was all hyperlapse and everything, weren't it? And that's because the audio went wrong. I listened back and, well, there was nothing to listen to. I don't know why, but the audio hadn't come out. So, yes, I've gone and treated myself to one of these fancy pants. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's be alright, isn't it? Second thing, 513 subscribers. My God, that's crazy. 513 people subscribe in and watch me do this shit around here. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I'm blown away by that. Absolutely blown away. You know, that's crazy. If you had 513 people standing in front of you, that's a lot of people, isn't it? The third one. Oh, do you know what? I want to get into the episode and do that one actually. So the other two episodes started slightly different, aren't they? I'm normally indoors, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing. You've got about 23 seconds, although that's getting less now because I'm going to keep talking. You've got about 20 seconds, the music's coming in. Go make yourself a cup of tea. I'll meet yourself back out. Meet me back out here. Meet yourself. Meet me back out here. Bye. Right, so hopefully you're back out here. We're going a bit different now. We're going handheld because I've got a few things I need to show you, so we need to move around the workshop. Do you remember when you was little and your parents used to tell you off because you'd broke something and what was your excuse? Oh, it just come off in my hand. Well, yeah, it just come off in my hand. Yeah, sorry. So the bike's kind of blown apart a little bit. Yeah, a bit extreme, isn't it? Considering we was only having trouble with a swing arm, but. Do you know what? I'm glad I've done this because this has highlighted. This is the third thing that I want to talk about. If you're, let me just come back to this. If you're going to modify a motorcycle, make sure you do it properly. Please make sure you do it properly. If you're going to weld something, make sure you can weld. Just because you own a welder, that does not make you a welder. Seriously, this is mind boggles, and to think that I've rode this bike. Wow. Yeah, let me show you what I'm going on about. Let's turn it around again. So when you fit, so there's the VFR swing arm. Still got the car wheel on it at the moment. We'll get onto that. I'll show you what's happening with that. But when you fit this VFR swing arm, the shock doesn't mount in the middle of the bike. So if you're standing at the back of the bike and looking through, see if I get a little bit closer, your shock mounts are normally nice and central. Down there. But as you can see, these the VFR, the shock sits off to one side. So a new one's been welded there and a new one's been welded down here. But this is where I say, please practice on things before you do it on anything else. I'm going to get up nice and close to this and try and show you with the camera. If this doesn't work, I'll take some pictures and I'll upload those and show those to you as well. And sorry if I keep going out of shot as well. I'm not quite sure where I am in this. But yeah, let's have a little look. So this, oh, I feel like being sick. That is the top shock mount. Those welds, wow. He's cut off the original welds, the original mounts. Look, there's a bit of weld wire still stuck up in the middle there, and then he's just painted over it with what looks like hammerite. But look, the gouge is in the frame there from the angle grinder where he cut off the old mounts, and this pigeon shit snot stuff, you know, that is atrocious. It really is. And then the bottom mount, so the original bottom mount has been cut away, and then this thing has been made up and welded onto the bottom. It's, yeah, and bracketry as well. If you're going to cut bracketry off a bike, cut it all off. What's this? Why have you left bits here? And the same up here. Look, if you've cut bits off and the box section welded in, supporting things, wow, this. I kind of knew what I was buying. I could see the potential, you know, with the the upside down front end and things like that, and the VFR back end, which we'll get to that, don't worry, we will get to that. But what scared me even more again is when I took the front end off. So the GSX-R 1000 forks, they've obviously done a stem swap to get the yokes to fit in there. Sorry, it's my phone going off over there. Yeah, to get the yokes to fit in there. But where they've used the Bandit stem coming up through the original GSX-R top yoke, look at that. Look at these gaps, that hole. That should be a snug fit. And there's only, what, 10 mil of thread coming out of there for the nut to go on. You're not holding the front end true and proper. Sorry, I'm twisted off to the side there, I know that. You're not holding the front end true and proper. It's just, yeah, if you're going to buy a welder, I mean, I am all up for, if you want to go out, if you want to learn how to customise bikes, do it. But know your limits as well. I know my limits. If I need to weld two pieces of metal together, I know I can do that. I'll fire up the old Sabora over there and I'll get it going. I can stick two pieces of metal together, hot, sticky, melty metal. That's fine. And I know it will be structurally sound. Might need a bit of a disc off after to make it look pretty, but I know what I can do. When it comes down to other welding, I'll seek it out by professionals. So when I change over the subframe, I'm going to get someone to do the aluminium welding for me because they know what they're doing, and it's an integral part of the frame, because when I change over to the R1 back end, it's got a different one, aluminium subframe. I'll get that extended by someone for me, so it's done professionally. When I'm making the manifolds for the turbo, I'll get those made for me because, again, they're done professionally. Oh, anyway, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Let's get on to what we're doing. So, yeah, VFR 750 back end. No, naughty wheel. Yeah, so I did a little bit silly, didn't I? I did the burnout. Neighbours were out, so they didn't mind too much because obviously they don't know about it until they watch the video. So yeah, so I've blown the bike apart, and once I see those welds, I knew I had to do something about it. So what I've done is, if you come with me, it's just started raining as well, and now we've got to go outside before it gets dark. We bought something. This is Plan B. I was going to say version 2, but this is Plan B. So you're going to hear the buzzing. Sorry, that's the mole traps that are in the garden, not mole repellers in the garden to piss them off. The bastard things keep digging up the garden. So, right, you ready for this? There we go. Yeah, so we have gone for a full Suzuki Hayabusa swing arm that has been narrowed and fitted to fit a Suzuki Bandit 1200 frame with perfectly good shock mounts. Amazing. This is obviously bolt-in modification that's already been done. So let me just turn that off a second. There we go. Bolt-in modification has already been done. The shock mounts, perfect. Don't need to do anything with those. So this is going to be the first job. I'm going to get this frame into the workshop as we go around into the workshop now, just to get out the rain, because I can show you on this frame what's going to be going on. So on this frame, on that frame, what I'm going to be doing is, because we don't need the subframe anymore, I'm going to bring the other frame in. I'm going to cut the back end of this frame off as well, leave the engine in the front part, simply because I can get the person that I'm using, Gavin, I can give him this basically, or he can come around here, the engine's in the frame, and we can make the turbo manifold using this. This is great. We'll just get rid of that and piss it off because we don't need that. It's just too big. Then when I'm finished, the whole lot's going to the scrapyard. So I'll get that scrapped off. Yeah, and it's terrible. Absolutely atrocious. The other frame, I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to cut it off again, because this is where we're going to be putting the R1 back on. So I'll take, the swing arm's already in it, I'll take the swing arm out, I'm going to cut through here, and I'm also going to cut through here and plate this in and dress these up so that it's all smooth, and this is all smooth looking factory through here, so following this swage line that's already in the frame. Don't know if you can see how well you can see that. You see it coming up there. Yeah, so cut through, down, get rid of that back end, weld a plate over it, cut that off, disc it all off, make it look pretty on the other frame obviously, before we even think about adding anything else to it. There's no point in me putting forks on it, making the bike a roller, just so that I've got to do this cutting and welding, and sparks and shit's going to be going everywhere. So yeah, that's going to be the next job, I suppose. So you'll see me turf this one out, bring the other one in, and get stuck into it. Yeah, see you in a bit. Right, back end of the frame's cut off. These were where the top frame rails were, and this is where the bottom frame rails are. This is the top of the frame. where the tank sits. Yeah, so you see me cut it off. It all come off pretty easy. You had to finish a couple of bits off with the hacksaw, but that's no dramas. Question this is what I keep thinking about. Obviously, I'm still new to this YouTube stuff, so I need a bit of input, and this is where I need you to leave me some comments below. Do you want to see all the details? You want to sit and watch me grind all of these off, or like hyperlapse, or do you just want me to say I'm going to do this and sort of start, and then it cuts to it's done, and then we'll talk about the welding and bits and pieces like that? I mean, how do you want this video to run? Because you are the followers, so you tell me how you want to see this come together. I've done the first 2 bits in hyperlapse already. I'm going to continue on with disking these off, but when it comes to the rest of the fabrication, do you want to see it all in detail, or are you okay to just like sort of jump along and the project progress like that? Because like I said, the other doing the Harley stuff was how to, and it got a little bit I don't want to say tiresome, but it got a little bit too involved. There were some bits and pieces, there's some other issues that I had. I still haven't addressed that ever in the other video, but anyway, that's divergent. What do you want to see on this? Do you want to see the details? Or is there specific parts you want to see details about, like when we come up to doing the turbo side of it, but the frame modifications, just burn through them as quick as we can? I don't know. So yeah, like I said, anyway, next bit, I'm going to disc these off, pre it up so it looks like they wasn't there. Same with these. I need to feather these out, or grind them flush, disc them off. This whole bit can be cut off here, run the angle grinder across, and then start to make the shape. Once I've ground it, I'm going to have to cut across the frame, because the way this goes flat and then kicks up, if I just sort of grind that nice and flat, I'm going to end up with a feathered edge. When I put a piece of metal up against it to blank it in and start welding, that feathered edge, you can see that bit, it's just turning up. That will just blow back with the weld. So I'll cut it across and remove a little section out so it's nice and thick steel, right up to it and all the way around it. Don't know if I'll do it in 1, 2 pieces, or if I'll be able to get a piece that bends around so I get that nice contour. We don't know. Till we get there, I don't know. But it's nice thick steel. Probably going to have to order some up. What's that? 2 mil probably there on this section here. This is 2 pieces that are pressed together. You've got an outside piece and an inside piece, and the seam weld goes all the way down there. So I might even have to, I don't know, I could leave that back weld, and then it kind of looks a bit sort of factory, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll get to it. But yeah, let's I'm gonna get these dressed up. May even end up doing this outside, and I've also got to have some dinner, so I might go and have that first, and then come back to this.